High Street Congregational Church is one of the oldest churches in Newport, Maine. It has grown a lot over the 176 years and many generations of people and families involved in it. The church was founded on February 25, 1831, by an organization that wanted a Christian church in Newport. Joseph Merrill, who was from Cornville, Maine, along with 9 other members, helped to organize the church. This organization gained 2 more members by February 27th of 1831. The first monthly conference was held later that year on March 5th. The first communion was then held on April 2nd of 1831. Newport's population continued to grow, and different religious groups started to appear along with the High Street Church. For lack of a better place at the time, all of the religious groups had to meet in private homes. In the spring of 1837, the High Street Church decided to build a joint meeting house, along with the other religious groups of the area. This was built in the fall of 1837 and was then called the Union Church. The minister of each group was allowed to use it one Sunday out of each month. The church continued to be successful over the 65 years from 1837 through 1902. Starting about 1850, the Methodists started to have their own meetings, and the other religious groups followed this lead not long after. In 1902, the Church Society decided that they needed a newer church building. They then raised about $3,000 for their funding. In 1915, the parsonage was built next to the church, and this meant a new parking lot was needed to keep the horses and buggies. Starting only at the decade before the 20th century were any records of ministers for the church recorded. The pastor from 1889 to 1916 was Reverend John Webster. It is believed that there were 16 pastors before him. Reverend John Reynolds came to the church in 1925 and was there until he retired in 1941. From 1941 through 1971, the church had 11 ministers, 10 of which happened to be student pastors at Bangor Theological Seminary during their academic years. Reverend Terry Dinsmore became the full-time minister at High Street Church in 1971. He reached out to the people of the church and of the local community, and the church grew even more. Dinsmore Hall was added while he was pastor of the church. Between 1980 and 1998, 6 different ministers served the church, and the church began to fall behind financially. Reverend Dr. Henry Wyman led the decision for the church to go back to having a part-time minister. Al Warden became the new pastor of the church in July of 1998. The High Street Church has a lot of history dating back for many years. It has developed and has grown through many generations. Thanks to the many contributions and changes so many people made, it has only grown better and stronger over almost the 2 centuries that it has been open.